I'm going to set the expectations high right now because I know what follows. And you already know about VectorWatch, and Bogdan took the stage 20 minutes ago and made a product demo. Right now, we're having the founder of VectorWatch on stage. It's a good friend of How to Web, and we're proud and honored that he accepted our invitation to join. Dear innovators, Andrei Pitis from VectorWatch.
Hi everybody, I'm sorry that I cannot see you all, because I want to make this more of an interactive session, even though there are just a lot of you. I would like to present you more of the inside story, so there might be one thing that I haven't said before. And I'd like you to, all over the presentation, to think of what I think, I mean, I actually copied from some book, that are the 5 ingredients of success. And they are, product, timing, people, capital, and management. And throughout the presentation, try to think of how these 5 aspects that have to meet together in order to create success happen to us, and in your own startups, think at the stage that you're in having all these ingredients in full order. And we're going to come back to that at the end of the presentation. And I have 30 minutes. And the counter is not counting, so I guess I have a perpetual 30 minutes. I want to get a lot of questions. I'll try to be brief in order to make this interesting to you and to the issues that might interest you. What's all about? I mean, why are we in this market? I mean, is there a market? Is there not a market? When we started, I started 2 years ago, the market was very, at the beginning, there were a few bands, and the Pebble maybe I think Samsung had the first gear out. And the outlook, however, of the whole wearables with smart clothing and with the whole Internet of Things was already exploding. There are a lot of companies, a lot of startups that were trying to get into this space. Why? Because a lot of the big people said it's going to be a big market. It's going to be tens of billions. It's going to be huge. Even Credit Suisse or Morgan Stanley said it's going to be 1.6 trillion. So at that point, big companies were not invested as much. There was Google at some point with Android, but soon after, Microsoft, Intel, everybody starting, Apple started to invest in wearables. So whenever this happens, it's a good sign that our prediction 2 years ago that this is going to be a big market, combined with the predictions of everybody else, proves to be true, and the market is growing. However, as all these big companies came with their solution that they already had, the smartphone, and they made it smaller. They used the same, pretty much same operating system, and they made it smaller and put it on their wrist, because this is what they knew how to do, and it was the easiest way to get into this space. We thought that actually the wearables are going to be performing 3 things for the humanity, if you want. It will help us stay healthy. It will help us stay, current, so up to date with news and information that happens around us, and it will help us stay connected with our friends and with our social circle. So coming from this point of view, the best known item at the point of an item that was sitting on the wrist was the wristwatch, which had a history of about 100 years, and people already were accustomed. Some people were not using the wristwatch anymore, but still that was probably the best thing that would fit on the wrist and that would help us achieve those goals. So we started to think of a new way, of a new platform, if you want, of a new operating system that would allow us to create this product, and not just this product, to be able to create many products that would, in the end, allow us and allow people through technology to accomplish these goals. So the solution had to have a name. The name was Vector. Initially, this is a speech about lessons learned. So I'll tell you what we thought is going to be, and what it actually happened. We thought that we're going to, the vision was to write a simple and low power but powerful operating system that will allow us to write apps on top of it and will allow us to deploy over a great range of wearables. And that we wanted to be from the start compatible with iOS, Android, and Windows Phone. And our differentiator, because we created this from the start, we were able to achieve on this product industry-leading 30-day plus. Actually, it's more up to 60 days, but we didn't want to say up to 60 days like everybody else is doing. We wanted to say 30 days and to be 30 days, and to have users be impressed by the fact that it's more than 30 days rather than be deceived by the fact that it's probably less and it's not going up to that. What we wrote, we did not write just an operating system, we wrote a full stack. So it's a connected device. Remember, the mission of the wearables was to be connected, so we wanted to write the full stack to be able to be always connected, to be able to remember, to put all the health data in the cloud, to be able to run apps, and to be able to connect us with our social circle, and to be on the 3 platforms. So, you take a few software programmers and a few hardware engineers, probably a design engineer, and that's how actually it all started with Irina, then with Dan. Then Irina was the product designer, Dan was the hardware guru. Then the software guys came along, Daniel and Bogdan and Ioan and Tudor. And through the power of these people, actually, remember the first 5 things that the 5 ingredients of success, with these people we were able to build a prototype. However, in order to be successful with the technology, you have 2 alternatives. 1, you're a big company and you create a new technology and you sell it. 2, you're a small company and you create a brand that proves the technology, and then you can also sell technology in the future. So we also embarked upon the journey of creating a vector brand, right? Which should be easy. I mean, you get a photographer, right? You get a few marketing persons and you create a brand. What we learned so far? We learned that things are much more complicated, so much more challenging, so much more fun than what we actually thought that they would be at the beginning. So we had probably the denser, I don't know if this is even a word, year last year, creating all these that you see right now, from a project that started with a piece of paper and a pen to a product that sells now on Amazon.com and in the UK, in St. Louis, in Romania with Orange, and in Switzerland on Swisscom, Germany starting soon. We learned that product design is not just product design. You need to know to do design engineering. You need to know about manufacturability, quality assurance at the factory, packaging, supply chain management, regulatory requirements, customer service. So you require all these. I mean, you can start with the product designers. So all of you know that who maybe have hardware startups or physical product startups. You start with the product designer and you build the proof of concept and you build a few samples. In order to get to mass production, you need to have all these lined up. And the problems are in parts that you don't even think about. And the quality assurance is probably the most important part. We manufacture in China, and everybody is asking us how this can be so high quality. It's through careful selection of manufacturers and through a very complex quality assurance system that enables you to get only the quality pieces out of it. Hardware, you have the hardware guru here in this room. I guess Dan is here. And he started with the design, but it was not just that. There's manufacturability, and there's the software, the factory, the serial number, the hardware versioning, the quality assurance of hardware that has multiple steps in it, and the suppliers of components, that we build as a intellectual property. So if you think of a company building intellectual property, it's not just patents, it's not just new software or new algorithms. It's also how to do things, how to this knowledge we're able to get also from our new members of the team, like Joe Santana, who is our CEO and who used to be the CEO of Timex, and Ron Spencer, who is our Chief Operating Officer and who used to be the CEO of Bulova and before that at Fossil for 12 years. So that kind of experience, it goes back to the people, and of course these people you cannot really attract if you don't have a decent funding. So it goes back to funding, from the five elements. Then the software. I mean, come on, it's a mobile app and some firmware. We wanted to build a whole platform, so right now we are very close, as you saw Bogdan invited the ones that are interested to join our developers platform, and I will encourage you to do so, because if you have an idea that can be in any way blended, I mean, think of this as a whole new game. Think of the fact that nobody yet cracked the mystery of the apps on the hand. So everybody even the Apple Watch has thousands of apps nobody uses. Why? Because they're not natural to be used on the wrist, right? It's not natural to have a touchscreen on the wrist. Maybe it will be in the future, who knows? And maybe some people will find some value into that. But think of novel ways of interacting with the watch. Think of your own, I've discussed with a startup that had an idea, immediately got an idea how to interact with the watch. So the software, of course, we started with architecture, with a proof of concept, but then you have UI, you have user experience. You have to have patents in software in the US. You have to, you have agile development, and then it's not just firmware, it's an operating system. It's 3 mobile apps on iOS, on Android, and on Windows Phone. It's the communication protocol between them, the cloud platform, the software QA, and then turning it into a platform and opening it up for developers with an API. This is the same picture, and I really, really encourage you to go to developersvector.com. I'll be very, very happy to bootstrap the developers community at this edition of How to Web and to create meaningful apps that sit meaningfully on the hand and perform what truly matters for users around the world. The marketing, I mean, should be easy branding, digital marketing, but no, you cannot sell a product like this just online. So you have to have an offline presence. You have to have POS, point of sale materials. You have to have PR and events, launch events all over the world, London, New York. You have to have not just online, but also print advertising. And you have to have a lot of partnerships to get the word out. The distribution was initially when I built the cost of the product, the retail price of the product, and I showed it initially to Joe. He was amused because there's a lot of things that I did not put in there for distributors, retailers, for co-marketing, even accounting for returns and accounting for the service that needs to happen, the real service of just the product. The band is broken or has a problem. And of course, the financial. The financial usually in a startup, and in startups that I've done before, I've been both an investor and an entrepreneur. Usually you get rounds, and I want to announce again, to anybody who doesn't know, we got a 5 million round that was announced yesterday from a group of investors, first led by Jack, Radu Georgescu, who is one of the founding partners, and he was close to us all this time. And Divakar, his partner, they were both close to us. And they led the round, the second round, that also got Catalyst Romania involved in the round, and three individuals, 2 of them who co-founded IMAG a while back, Radu and Bogdan, and then there's another guy from Oracle in Hypopescu who joined into this round. And remember, it's about funding, but it's also about people. So this all blends into the same 5 arguments. However, investment is not, it's just part of the issue in a hardware company, because you have to build stock, you have to build inventory, so you need cash flow, you need to, how do you make the cash flow in such a way that you don't remain without money with a very good business model? You need to negotiate terms on one hand with the suppliers, and on the other hand with the distributors, right? Because you're in the middle between them. And you need to be very, very well advised in international tax, which can be a showstopper if you don't know it. So yeah, so as I said, this is the secret. I mean, I want to say that the secret is pretty much about people. I mean, in all but one of the 5 ingredients for success, everywhere you talk about people. I mean, even in the product, you have the people that build the product. In the capital, you have people who invest, even if they are funds or fund managers or private investors. In the management, you have to get good quality management. And the only thing that you cannot control, and that a lot of people think is the most important, is the timing. So the timing is essential, and I think that there's now, it's sad to start something that is not at the proper time. And a lot of innovative ideas are ahead of their time. The road ahead depends pretty much on people in this room. I mean, you can shape the road ahead for Vector, for wearables. We can partner, we can become developers on our platform, or we can work together towards, if you have a hardware startup. We are a high-growth company, so if there are any funds in the room that are interested in investing in a high-growth company that's now expanding into Silicon Valley, with this round, actually, the purpose of this round is to expand in Silicon Valley and start building the developer ecosystem there. You are welcome to join us. It's been a very fun road, and I expect that the biggest, more fun is yet to come. So I invite all of you to join as a developer, join as an investor in a high-growth company, or come partner with us to create a future for wearables. Thank you very much. I saved minutes for questions.
Yes, that's perfect. Any questions for Andrei? We've got one over there. Adrian as well. We can hear you.
So I was wondering about the software stack behind the device.
Yes. The software stack. So we build a software stack. It's a small footprint operating system that operates well on microcontrollers. It has a very good power management and lightweight, let's say, process control. Run the apps from the cloud. The watch is always connected to the phone using Bluetooth Low Energy, and the phone is always connected through the app on the phone to the cloud using HTTP. So we can have the app, most of our apps. I mean, we have the concepts you saw both done before. So I'm proud to say even more people joined, not just at the initial point. So after Bogdan Rupă, who is a very well-known entrepreneur who sold his business to Adobe and has been a product director at Adobe, joined us, and he is now in charge of creating all this vision around apps and the apps ecosystem. And we have faces, streams, and apps. You can design any of them, and we believe that the faces with the streams are powerful to create the digital watch of the future if you want, but the apps are the powerful way to bring all of the Internet of Things to the wrist and control it from here. So the apps are controlling apps, and we believe that they will be very powerful. They will be also very lightweight and will allow us to continue claiming 30-day battery life.
One more question over there, and that's the last one. Come on, ask it out loud.
So you said that everything was hard, from the design to the marketing to getting the finance. What was for you the hardest part, the hardest learning experience?
There is no hard learning. I mean, I'm very happy I learned in this, 2 years, probably as much as I learned in the first 40 years of my life. So, so it was nothing hard. I mean, I was very happy that I was in the position to learn so many things, and I will be happy when times will allow me to share more of this experience with startups that are in this community who want to go global.
Thank you very much, Andrei.